It's a beautiful point that you're making, which is so much of fragmented media today. The interplay of these media vehicles, if I were to call it, and the synergistic effect, which will create the multiplier impact for the brand, is really what you're talking about.
Exactly.
So, what are your key research findings when you say, how do I apply television with radio, and what's the kind of impact that it was creating for brands? And can you give me some examples of some brands that have actually done it very well, and that is something that most brands need to follow as probably a framework or a mental model?
Oh, there are too many questions in that question. So the thing that we discovered was surprising. So much so that I was actually afraid that this cannot be published because no one is going to buy it. Okay? So I was afraid that this can get, which is when I invited late Kalyan Raman as a co-author who used to be at Northwestern because he had the more muscle power to carry the day. I was just an assistant professor at that time. And I thought maybe my math is wrong. But then Kalyan guaranteed that the math is right, and then I got emboldened to write that paper. And I learned a lot from him. So the principle that we discovered is that there is television, let's say, and let's say there is online. And let's say television is twice as effective as online. It could be other way around. And let's say I give you $100. Then the classical result, which goes back to 1954 by Dorfman and Steiner, two economists of very high repute. They said you spend 2/3 on television because it is twice as effective, and 1/3 on online because it is half as effective. Very simple allocation.
Correct.
When we did the same math that Dorfman Steiner did and came up saying that what should be the allocation now, taking into account that television is going to reinforce online and online is going to reinforce television, meaning they have interplay. What is that interplay going to make a different allocation? Is it the same? If it were the same, there is no whole point in quantifying it.
Correct.
And so we went and studied that. And then we got a result that the more effective should get less money.
Is it?
And the less effective online, in this example, should get more. And I thought there must be a mistake. How can we overturn Dorfman Steiner, who is like God, a result, saying that they say do 2:1, and I'm saying increase both, but increase the more effective less so, and increase the less effective more so. And so give more than fair share to the weak medium, give less than the fair share to the more effective one. And so this is like a completely opposite allocation principle that fell into our laps based only on the mathematics of it. And mathematics is always right unless you make a mistake. And so we got Kalyan to rule that possibility out. And we published that paper. And that is what the CMOs have to figure out. That if you think there is first you should introduce the reinforcement or the interplay. That is a creative job of a campaign executor. So Ogilvy, J. Walter Thompson, they have to conceive an integrated marketing campaign where the media have interplay. Once they did that, then the brand managers will put some money, but the amount of money you're going to put is going to be slightly different than what Dorfman Steiner would say, do it proportional to effectiveness. Here it is, support the weak is the strategy. So you're going to put more than fair share for the less effective one, because the less effective one is going to actually lift the more effective little bit. But the more effective one is going to lift the less effective, but it is because it is less effective, it improves much more. And that's why you give more money. And so once you get that intuition, then the math and intuition matches, and companies should follow that allocation. So first they should make an integrated campaign conceptually through the creative agencies. Then they have to measure sales, advertising dollars to see whether it actually affected in the marketplace. And third, they will come up with an allocation which is proper. And so these are the three stages by which an integrated marketing campaign should be run.